Welcome back to Bern, Switzerland, for frankly one of the most exciting nights in the IFSC calendar. Tonight we give away our first Olympic tickets. Yes, I'll say it again, our Olympic tickets in speed. Gold and silver will move forward to the games. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Shauna Coxey in the commentary box. And Shauna, I mean, not only are you an incredible boulder and lead climber, but you've trained speed. You know firsthand what these athletes are going through.
I have trained speed, but also I know what it feels like to have an Olympic ticket right there waiting for you, and you've got to go out and fight for it. So, yeah, I know it's about the speed action on the wall tonight, but also the fact that those Olympic tickets are on the line. It's incredibly exciting.
It really is. And we're looking at our women's qualifiers. They qualified this morning, and it was an emotional event, as I'm sure you can imagine. And a slightly slippy wall made things tricky for the athletes. We had some of our regulars not make it through, and of course some absolute legends make it on. Everyone's asking about Alexandra Miroslav. She never seems to be beaten, but will she slip up tonight for the women? And for the men, well, our world record holder, Vedrik Leonardo, he's in action, the fastest man on, I was about to say on Earth, but it's not really on Earth, 4.90, his world record, Alexander, 6.25. And Shauna, you mentioned those Olympic tickets. Of course, this is the first opportunity, but there's a few more along the way.
There are a few more opportunities, and we will see 14 men and 14 women get those Olympic tickets. There are just 2 for men and 2 for women being awarded tonight. So that means our final race, those 2 athletes have their Olympic ticket, but they are still racing for the World Championship gold medal. So that race will still be extremely, extremely intense. There are multiple different ways to qualify for the Olympics. So we're here tonight, and then there are the continental championships that we've got coming up. That'll be 1 athlete from each continent at that point qualifying. And then there's the Olympic qualifier series next year, where 5 athletes will qualify.
Awesome. Well, that's the story. And we will give away the Olympic tickets for the boulder and lead tomorrow night. And that is our speed wall, 15 meters high, ever so slightly overhanging at 5 degrees. 2 lanes on it, as you can see. Lane B with the athletes facing their competitor, and then lane A with the athlete facing the audience. And although I'm told by many a speed climber it doesn't really make a difference, I always think it must be easier to chase someone rather than not looking at someone, but then at the same time you haven't got someone distracting you. So I mean, Shauna, you've done it. Which lane did you prefer?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I always preferred being on the left, and that's not having the distraction like you say, but it is over so quick. Even when I was doing speed, and I was definitely not that speedy. But yeah, I wonder if athletes have a personal preference as opposed to there being one side that they always, all athletes prefer.
Yeah, I asked the same question as speed climbers. They're like, no, it doesn't make a difference. I think deep down it does, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, we're looking at the order of the competition here, and whereas in qualifying it's against the clock, in the finals it's against your opponent. And that is something a little different in climbing because, you know, we've talked a lot about that shared beater in lead and the community of climbing, but in speed, you're out there to beat someone, and it does change things a little bit.
It does change things. The head-to-head aspect of this competition creates a very different environment backstage. I remember my first speed competition, I said, good luck to the climber next to me, and they did not reply. It was a strange experience for me.
Well, that's to come, and the athletes will be queuing up back in the corridor that we can't see, preparing themselves. And as you said, it's a strange atmosphere back there, and some mind games go on.
Mind games, nerves, tension. It feels very, very surreal in here. The fact that there are those Olympic tickets on the line, it does mean something different. This isn't just a normal competition. It is the World Championships, but the top 2 spots, they get their Olympics tickets tonight.
Absolutely. Well, Alexandra Miroslav is on the left. She is the lady who is hardly ever beaten, but Dainu on the right of her, an extremely strong competitor. And Alexandra, you know, being the favourite on paper, yes, it means something, but out there on the wall, I mean, we can't predict anything.
It is impossible to predict in speed, and we've seen that. We've seen big slips, we've seen surprises.
All right, here we go. Wait for the buzzers. The audience will drop into silence as we prepare. Alexander on the left, Dainu on the right. And it's a clean start from both women. Dainu ahead at the bottom. We know Alexander's quicker in the middle, and now look at her pull away through the top section of the route, hits the starting buzzer. Alexander Miroslav does exactly what she needs to do.
What a competitor she is. She has got so many records to her name, and I know for a fact that she wants the Olympic gold medal. We talked about it in Tokyo. We competed together at the Olympic Games, and she said she just can't wait to have her moment when speed gets its own medal. She knew it was coming, and she's out here to prove something tonight.
She really is. She has that slow start, we see quite often from her, but it's the middle and top sections where she finds something different, driving upwards towards that finishing pad. And this is the start, so she was behind at the very beginning.
She was, and I love that we use the word slow in speed climbing. It gets a whole different meaning when we talk about speed climbing, doesn't it? But she often kind of does lag behind slightly, but never seems to worry her too much.
Absolutely not. She comes back. Li Deng now from China versus Adriana Romero Perez on the right from Spain. Li Deng, probably the favourite on paper in terms of experience, certainly. The athletes will follow a very similar routine every time they clip on. And Li Deng always surprises me, chalks her shoes, which is something we don't usually see.
No, I've very rarely seen that. I've seen a couple of climbers do it when their shoes may be wet, but I don't believe hers are.
Exactly right. Here we go. Race number 2 in this women's final. Clean from both women, and Li Deng is ahead at the moment, but look at Ramirez. She comes back fantastic through the top section, but in the air, and it is Ramirez, and you can see what that means to her. Unbelievable performance.
I believe that was a personal best for her as well. Coming into this round, she had a personal best of 7.22, so she's just outdone herself. What a time to do it, what a time to put it on the line, and you can see what that means to both women.
Yeah, you really could. I mean, look, I said on paper, forget on paper, because as we've just seen, anything can happen. Let's watch this again. So she was neck and neck at the beginning, and then there was a slight hesitation from Deng, and that seemed to cause her lots of problems on the upper part of the wall.
But Adriana keeping her cool, just keeping that focus, and putting in the run of her life there.
It really was. I mean, this is how champions are born, right? This is what she needed to do. Straight on the wall. Yes, a little hesitation down in the middle, but kept it together.
Kept it together, and with speed, we see some hesitation sometimes, and we see athletes falter. And sometimes both athletes, but you've got to just keep going, because this is a race. At that time, it doesn't matter so much. It is a race. Who gets to the top fastest goes through to the next round.
There we go. Well, Emma Hunt on the left has had a heck of a season, and she seems to come into this with an entirely new mindset, always smiling. She does a sort of Natalia style, and then Shengyuan Wang on the right from China. And I want to know what Emma Hunt says right there. I still haven't found out, and I'm desperate to know. So both athletes turn. Emma keeping the auto belay in front of her. Wang with it behind. And it's clean again, and this time Emma Hunt is starting to pull back in the middle. Shenguan has a little slip. Emma Hunt has this if she can keep it together, which she does. And Emma Hunt moves forward as we'd expect from that athlete. Incredible performance.
Really, really impressive. And to go from that focused, intense kind of composure, and then to see that smile at the end, it's really fun to see. But of course, only for one athlete.
Exactly, yeah. It's a good point. We always lose somebody. I do think speed is the most brutal form of climbing.
I agree, having done all three of the disciplines that we see in this arena right here. And yeah, speed is so unforgiving.
Yeah, exactly, that's a good word, unforgiving. Let's see it again from Emma. Straight body in the middle, driving upwards with the legs. No looking down, of course. These athletes will have this route cemented in their brain. And a 6.83 from Emma. Okay, Natalia Kaluchika comes onto the stage, and she's versus Yaifei Zhao from China. Team China with this incredible resurgence. They went away during COVID, came back a different team.
It is impressive. It seems to, the teams often get a huge sight for one sport or one discipline, and we see some nations really focusing on speed, as you can see here, with multiple athletes from the same nation in this round.
So exciting. Right, here we go. Natalia Kluchka on the left, Yafaizo on the right. That's the starting pad. The athletes screw their feet into it. It's good from both athletes, but a huge slip from Natalia Kluchka. Yafaizo will move forward unless she makes a mistake, which she doesn't, and that is a surprise. Heartbreaking.
Wow, a big surprise. You said the wall was slippy, and we saw that there for Natalia. Again, on paper, it wouldn't have looked to be that way, and you can see right there the huge smile as she lowers down, but a real upset for Natalia.
Yeah, our first big upset of the evening, in fact. And Natalia takes it in her stride. She goes over, and that is good to see. As you said, we lose somebody at this stage, but to have that kind of sportsmanship is wonderful.
It really is. It's nice to see, but you can see that slip there. She just missed the foot placement. These athletes, they practice this relentlessly. It's impossible to count how many times they've done that route, and it must be so hard to manage when they do slip.
Exactly. Well, our race moves on. Our next set of athletes are waiting. Okay, Dezak Madre from Indonesia comes on. The first time we see Team Indonesia in this final. Julia Randi on the right. Dezak Madre, the comeback queen of speed. Do not count her out. But then on the right from Italy, Julia there, very composed and within herself, focusing here. Chalking up and getting ready. Dezak, as she always does, she never leaves this zone either. She won't smile until the very end of the competition. All right, both women approach the wall. Right foot up, left foot on the starting pad.
Ready?
And it's a good start from both. Dezak, though, ahead as she comes towards the middle. Julia Randi coming back at her, but look at Dezak Madre, that skip at the top, a 6.708, stunning from her.
Just like you said, she's kept her composure. She's looked down, given a nod, but no smile just yet. The competition goes on. She's moved through. Really an interesting approach compared to other athletes, but you need to do whatever works for you in this moment.
Yeah, even when she gets on the podium, she seems to stay within herself. It's fascinating to watch. And then that slight turn she does at the top with the side, using the big muscles in the leg.
Yeah. Legs have to be so powerful on this climb. You see them, their foot hits, there's no hesitation. Of course, they cannot hesitate on this climb. Often watching it back in slow motion, it's really fascinating to see how accurate their foot placements are, how the fact that they're already moving before their feet hit, much different to other styles of climbing. I recommend everyone watching tries the speed route. It is not as easy as it looks.
I totally agree, and I won't embarrass myself by telling you my time, put it like that.
Oh, I want to know now.
Later, off air, I promise. Patricia Hujiak on the left. It was very emotional during the qualifying round. I actually thought she hadn't qualified. She'd come back, and Capucine Viglioni on the left. Sorry, on the right. As you can hear the auditorium in deathly silence as we wait. It's clean. The look at Capucine exploded, but then dropped behind. Patricia Hujiak is pulling away with this as Capucine slips once more. Patricia jumps, and that was a run short full of mistakes there from Viglioni.
It really was. It's unfortunate to see a slip again, but that is part of this sport. We see slips, we see false starts at times. I'm not saying we're going to, but there's a lot that can go wrong. Yes, the athletes practice. Yes, the athletes know this climb like I was going to say like the back of their hand. They know it way better than the back of their hand. But mistakes happen. The pressure piles on. And as we've been saying, it's a different event. The pressure is so much more extreme than it's ever been, it feels like, for speed. Because these are not just any Olympic tickets. They are the first Olympic tickets for speed as a single discipline.
Exactly. It's such an amazing event. That right foot slipped down low on the wall. I think she just missed a foothold. Recovered at the top, of course, but just couldn't come back from that far behind. All right, we're nearing the end of our first round. The second Kluchka sister, Alexandra, comes on. She's on the left, and then she's worked versus Nurul Ikma from Indonesia on the right. These two sisters, dominant. I mean, Team Poland, pretty dominant within speed.
Very dominant. I believe there's 4 women we'll see from Team Poland in the speed finals tonight, so crazy impressive performance.
Yeah, they are the Slovenia of speed climbing, perhaps. Alexandra turns, faces the wall. As does Nurul. Nurul taking slightly longer to get ready. Now she settles. And Nurul at the beginning was a body length ahead, but then look at Alexandra coming back towards the top. Speed and power from her. She easily, and Nurul, a big slip towards the top as well. Alexandra safely through. She just looks calm and collected there as she comes down from the wall.
She does. She kind of had a couple of seconds of raw emotion, then composed herself. I think, you know, in that moment when you see that green light, that's all you're looking for as a speed athlete. You hit that buzzer, the green light means success, you're through or you've won. So you kind of see that raw emotion burst out, and then often athletes do compose themselves as they lower down the wall. And I think the lower down can feel like a long time for the athlete that hasn't been successful as well. So like we've been saying, we lose an athlete every single race here. It is so, so harsh.
Yeah, it is. And in qualifying as well, I don't think people realise, if you full start in qualifying, that's it. There's no second run. You're done.
Yeah, and a false start means that their foot will leave the buzzer before those beeps count down, and it's 0.1 seconds, I think it is, after the buzzer. I should know that, having done this myself, because of the reaction time. So yeah, you'll hear a big beep if that happens. We cross our fingers that that doesn't happen to any athlete tonight, because we want to see some good races. Yeah,
we really do. So let's hopefully, no red lights, please. Rajia Salsabilia on the left, Jimin Jong from Korea on the right. And Jimin with a good season so far, but Rajia, part of that Indonesian squad, never count them out. That is the starting holds, which they match. No full start, thank goodness. Jimin Jong ahead, but then look at Rajia pull something back in the middle. This is a close one. Could be one in the air as they reach the top. Rajia and a 6.86 and a 7.15. That's pretty close.
Oh, it is. It almost doesn't look like it when you look at the numbers, but it was so close. And I think we saw a little slip at the top there, which did cost her. So unfortunate, because that could have been even closer.
Yeah, it could have been. Well, just like that, the first round of the women's comp is done. We move on to the men's side of things, but first of all, we'll just see a replay of this. And sometimes you do need a replay. Yeah, it was. You're right, there was a little slip there. That's what it did for her. You see again, Rajia powering upwards. She had a little skip in the middle as well.
Yeah, and you talked about this wall being slippery and other walls being sticky. It's funny because they're supposed to be the same, right? But of course, they're not, because life doesn't work that way. So this wall tends to feel a little bit slippier for the athletes. We are seeing their feet skidding around a little bit, but still a lot of fast times going up on the board. Yeah,
exactly. The fastest wall, I think, this year was that wall in Korea, where we saw multiple world records in the final, which is unusual. And I think sometimes it's to do with the surface, the texture of the wall, and the holds change slightly. There's a different set of holds they're bringing in this year, and a little bit deeper, apparently. So I'm not sure what holds are used on this wall.
And also the environment, if it's too warm, there's lots of different factors that can play in, especially with walls that are outdoors.
Okay, so we move on to the men's side of things. In this first round of races, we do lose an athlete, as we keep saying. And this first race is a big one. Vedrik Leonardo versus Eric Neuer from Spain. And Eric Neuer, such a personality, but Vedrik as well, the world record holder.
I want them both to go through. I don't know what to say. It is so hard. You can't cheer for one athlete, right? You just got to cheer as they go. And the crowd, I think they'll be excited for this one. Yes, of course they're excited for all of them, but like you said, it feels like an extra special race right now.
Yeah, it's like a battle of two speed climbing personalities here for sure. I love how Eric Neuer as always comes out in hats and gloves whenever you're outside. The speed athletes prefer to be warmer. They operate on a hotter basis. So Vedrik, the current world record holder, he's on the left. Eric Neuer, the big man, on the right. Pure muscle. He's an ounce of fat on him. 4.9 PB. The world record versus a 5.28.
Ready?
And it's explosive start from Eric Neuer, but now Vedrik Leonardo is coming back at him at the top of the wall. Vedrik slips, and Eric Neuer takes victory, and that is a huge surprise.
Wow. That was so intense. You told me it was going to be wild coming in tonight. You told me there were going to be surprises, and that is a big one.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can see from Vedrik, that Indonesian team, they live in a hotel, they train together, they are not allowed phones, they have a regime. It's intense. And when they fall like that, you can see how much it means to him. But Eric Neuer running away with it at the end because of that slip.
And it just shows that it can really happen to anyone. He is the current world record holder. You wouldn't expect that, but it can happen, and we see it, and we've seen it again and again, and it's just adding pressure, it feels like, to these next rounds, because now all the athletes know that that's possible.
That's so true. The favourite is kind of out of the way, so it's wide open here in the men's competition. Jun Yasukawa on the left, Rishat Kabulin on the right. And Jun Yasukawa has been a bit of a revelation. He's kind of come out of nowhere. Very, very fast, consistent finals. But of course, Rishat, the old veteran, and so quick on a speed walk. And Jun is looking upwards, taps the wall. He's still going through his routine out there. Did you have a routine, Shorter?
I actually stood facing the crowd like this at the Olympics and missed the cue to turn and go and stand on the pad. So my routine clearly didn't work. I think I was just so overwhelmed that we were actually there after everything that happened, and they had to remind me that I needed to turn around.
That's amazing. It's such a good story. All right, here we go. Yun on the left, Rishat on the right.
Ready?
Well, they're clean away. Yun is behind at the moment. Look at the speed of Rishat, scurrying his way up the wall. Yun falls, Rishat takes it, 5.46. I think he double tapped. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't think Rishat thought he'd hit the starting pad, ending pad.
And another slip in a very similar place. I'm curious as to whether there's a reason for that, if it is the pressure, if there's something that feels a little bit different on the wall. I really do hope not, but interesting that we do see another slip in the same place.
Yeah, I think, I mean, sections of the wall, I guess, start going, and you are very right. Often we see that certain sides or certain sections. Let's watch it again. I seem to kind of twist away from the wall, and then this is bizarre as well. Rishat hit it. I don't think he thought he'd hit the pad and reset and did it again. Yeah,
I guess in that moment, you just want to make sure you haven't even processed the fact that the lights turned green. He just did everything he could to make sure he was certain of that victory.
He was very low on the pad, and you could see he didn't really look up. I've never seen that happen in a speed final.
And you've seen a lot of speed finals.
I've seen a few, yeah. I've run out of breath a few times. I tend to hyperventilate when I do this one. Liang Zhang on the left, Pierre Rebrion on the right from France. China versus France. Liang moves away from the wall first of all, approaches his Bilet, and Pierre takes his time, and perhaps part of the mind games, who knows, just make your opponent wait a little.
It's interesting that mind games, you've said it earlier, and I do think it's a huge part of speed climbing and very different to what we see or see as obviously, maybe, in other competitions within climbing.
Yeah, you are completely right. I quite like it, I will be honest. I like that sort of little niggles of rivalry. All right, here we go. The starter pad is compressed.
Ready?
Good start from both men. Pierre behind as we reach the middle point of the route. Liang Zhang will take this as long as he doesn't make a mistake. And a 5.18, that is speedy from him.
Wow, and a really, really close race. Both athletes seeming not to slip up and just have a good performance. That's what we want to see. We want to see them both smoothly through the climb. Maybe we're wrong about that left route because it sure looks like it was absolutely fine for this guy.
It did, didn't it? Liang making good progress there. He was always ahead and he kept it together towards the top. That angle just showing the drive of the athletes, of his power upwards. And that was the top. Won it in the air. Oh, didn't win it. It was winning before the air, I should have said. Yeah, that left wall was okay that time. And of course, the athletes won't know where the slips have come from before, and they won't really care about it. They're just so much in their own heads.
Yeah, the focus here has to be on your performance. You can't let kind of anything else in. the routine, like you say, is practice. The climb, of course, is practice. So you need to stick to what you know in your safe space. And I think we do see that, like you said, people do the same routine again and again before they clip in and when they go to the wall. And it's rehearsed, the entire thing.
Yeah, it is. They have that thing. Aspa on the right with a brilliant new hairstyle. That's new for this World Champs. Jin Bao Long on the left. And Aspa can do special things. He was very good in Indonesia a while back. I remember body length ahead before he slipped, going for that world record. And it's clean, and look at Aspa, but he did make a big mistake, double mistake, and Jin Bao Long runs away with it at the top. Another surprise for Indonesia.
Another surprise, and you can't help but think about the pressure that is on these athletes. We've lost 2 Indonesian athletes now. We've lost the world record holder. The Olympic tickets are not going to these athletes. There is huge amounts of pressure on these athletes when they are at a normal World Cup or at a standard World Championships. I say a standard World Championships is always special, but it feels like the intensity has stepped up, and we're seeing that, I think, in these runs now.
Yeah, we absolutely are. So we lose Aspa. What a surprise. Jin Bao Long moves on, and we have our next race in a couple of minutes. And look at this from Aspa. That was the slip.
That was the big slip, but I think almost flustered by the first slip.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he just compiled up on top of him, that pressure. Okay, well, Ramad Adi Molyono on the left, Yaroslav Tash from Ukraine on the right. And I was watching him during qualifying. He slipped down the list, hit 14th place, waited a long time to be confirmed into this final. Finally got the nod, and just you could see all the pressure soak out of him. So Yaroslav on the right, Ramad on the left. Both athletes turn.
Ready?
It's clean from both. Yaroslav Tash a little ahead at the moment. Ramad's coming back in. Ramad at the top is going to take it, and he does with a 5.0, but Yaroslav Tash was close.
He was so very close. That was our closest yet. It is hard to keep your eye on what's going on here. There is just so much action in such a short amount of time.
It is crazy, isn't it? Well, Yaroslav had a big reaction at the top of the wall. He ran fast, and I think he's actually pretty happy with that performance. It was quick for him, and let's see it again. It was neck and neck in the middle.
That could potentially be a PB for him.
Yeah, I think he told me that he had to. Well, look at that reaction. He's super happy with that.
Yeah, so that was a 5.2, and he's previously PB is a 5.35. So, I mean, putting in a PB, that's all you can do.
It really is. Look at him on the right. He slapped the pad, and a big yes from him. We don't often see that.
I mean, if you're getting a PB in the World Championships, it's a great place to do it, even if you don't progress to the next round. But what a good run from both of our athletes there.
That's exciting stuff, isn't it? All right, well, no time to breathe. Kermel Katabin on the left, Yingxiang Wang on the right. Kermel Katabin needs to do something for Team Indonesia here. They've been a little behind so far. So China versus Indonesia, this is such a classic clash of nations, this one. Two of the world's best together. All right, while we wait, we're under starters' orders here. Kermel looking relaxed, just nodding to himself. Yingxiang with his eyes down. And a final ha going on there.
Ready?
Well, the buzzers are good, and Kermel Katabin is running away with it. But look at Yingxiang Wang now at the top. He might take it in the air, not quite, but how close. Unreal.
Wow, that was so close. Slightly different setups for both athletes at the start there, the way they move into the climb. They obviously cannot leave that buzzer until the clock beeps down, but a different setup, and the closest, again, we're getting closer and closer and finer margins.
Well, this is, we said it was a slippy wall. The athletes seem to be ignoring our advice here and pushing that world record to the limit. I mean, I remember back in the day, a 5.099 would have been a world record, and now it's sort of another run.
You say back in the day, really not that
yes,
long
exactly.
ago.
At the beginning of the season, perhaps. Yeah, look at this from Kermel.
It does feel like the Olympics and speed being its own discipline has progressed the sport significantly. It is great to watch. Speed is the fastest sport in the Olympics. It is very exciting. It is so loved by so many people. I love watching it. Everybody else watching obviously does too, but I just can't wait to see it get its own set of medals on the Olympic stage.
I completely agree with you. It deserves in the Olympics. When you think of the fast, 100 meters, for example, this should be up there.
Yeah, but this is faster.
It's definitely better. Don't tell Usain Bolt I said that. Not much I'll ever meet him, but you know what I mean.
If I bump into him, I'll let him know.
Yes,
Matt
please
Groom
do.
says we're better.
Well, I mean, he'll know my name. Peng Wu on the left, Zach Hammer on the right. Zach Hammer in the first finals, I think, and look at that from him. He's really enjoying himself out there. But Peng Wu takes his time to approach the wall.
Ready?
And it's a Zach slips down low, and Peng Wu is going to run away with it. I thought Zach had a brilliant start, but then a slip.
He actually looked ahead for a split second there, and then that big slip just pulled him right down. But look at that smile. What a place to make your first final. He looks happy.
He really does. So he comes down for the wall, knees strapped up. Good work from him. Peng Wu, though, kept it together all the way to the top after that slip, because Zach was coming back at him, but it was far too far down at that point. And a 5.338. Good time again. Yeah, that was the slip, a double slip. He did well to catch himself.
He did, and to still put a good time on the board.
Yeah, unreal. You can do that if you fall. As long as you catch the hold, you can pull yourself back on. So good for him to keep on going. You have to do that. Right, Matteo Zerloni comes on versus Bassam Awam, and this is interesting because at the beginning of the season, Matteo Zerloni, he was our one to watch at the IFSC, an up-and-coming athlete, was Bassam Awam, super experienced, and he was in the Olympics with you with a nasty injury before.
Yeah, huge injury at the Games, but he's done an incredible recovery. I know he'll be wanting to be back at the Games alongside his brother. They were both competing together. His brother, current Boulder World Champion. So let's see what Bassa can do tonight.
Yeah, the Mawem brothers. And look at Bassa's eyes there. And he's being called away from the wall. So this could be a slight technical moment. Oh, no, we're good. All right, so Bassam Awam on the right, Matteo Zerloni on the left.
Ready?
It's clean from both. Bassa with an explosive start, but now Matteo starts to come back at him. Bassa has a few slips. He's gone. And Matteo Zerloni, though, caused me a heartbeat moment at the top there.
Oh, that was so close. Bassa almost bringing it back and just showing why. If you do slip, you must keep going in speed. It is not over until one person hits the buzzer and that green light shines.
Oh, that was really a moment. He nearly messed up the top of that wall, and we've kind of seen him do similar things like that before, so it was good that he managed to finish it. Let's see it again. So we're looking for that Bassa slip, where it occurred, because they were ahead. There it is. There's a slight moment, then it compounded. But look at the top. That was almost Matteo gone then.
Oh, head in his hands, breathing a huge sigh of relief, I imagine.
Really was. Well, lane on the right proved to be the losing lane. Eventually, lane on the left seemed faster, and those are the athletes moving forward. And now, if you're watching at home, you can see how it works. For example, Rishat will be versus Eric Neuer in the second round, and we keep on losing athletes until that semi-final, and then we go into the final and small final, so the athletes will have another chance, and it's the final where the silver and gold is given and the Olympic tickets.
But we'll find out in the quarterfinal.
Sorry, quarterfinal. That's the semi-final. I do apologise. I'm getting the finals mixed up there. Yeah, so the small final is where bronze and fourth place is decided, final, silver and gold. And we will now flip back to the women. So we reset, and the women will be behind the stage getting ready. And this is the women's side of things. So again, similar system as we try to find those final places. Big Team Indonesia presence there for the women, and Poland, as you'd expect, down the bottom. Emma Hunt representing the USA. She'll be versus Zhao in a minute. Miroslav versus Perez at the top. So that's the story of the final so far. And Sean, the one good thing about speed is we've had some pretty massive broadcasts, but this thing is over in about an hour, so it's a quick one for us.
It is, but it is an intense one. Wow. I watch the Speed World Cups at home and I can't sit still. I'm stood up, I'm sat down, my palms are sweating. Yeah, we've had longer broadcasts, but this kind of feels like as much energy and as much excitement all piled into a shorter broadcast, but still just as wild and just as intense.
It is. It's an explosion for sure. So Alexandra, the favourite here, versus Perez. And again, the better start actually from Alexandra. She's better in the middle, had a little moment, but she's ahead all the way. Alexandra Miroslav, again, does what she needs to do. Wasn't quite as slow off the start as she was in that first race, so maybe settling into things now a little bit.
Yeah, she looked, of course, very satisfied, and she looked confident when at the start, but I do think you can see those nerves, and she is someone who, like we've said, she's no doubt going for an Olympic spot. She's an Olympian already, but she was so ready to kind of put a world record at the Olympics. She wants this. I think you could say she wants this maybe more than anybody. She talks a lot on social media about how much she's training and how much dedication she has got for this event. But like you said, you've talked about other athletes showing that dedication too. And with speed, it seems like there is so much on the line because you are head to head with another athlete.
Yeah, it's a straight race, and that's what we love about speed. All right, Emma Hunt on the left from the USA, and on the right, it is Yafei Zhao from China. And now watch this routine from Emma. She looks up, says whatever she says, gets clipped on, that smile on her face, that positive attitude, really important when it's all a mental game as much as anything.
It definitely is a very mental game.
All right, here we go. So, Emma prepares, Yafei repairs as well. Buzzers go, and it's a clean start from both. Emma slightly behind, but she pulls it back in the middle, and she is going to win this one if she can keep it together, but she slips and somehow finds something at the top just from Emma Hunt.
Oh, that was a close one. We saw the slip, and she just managed to keep it together. She's giggling away as she comes down off the wall. We threw our hands to our head as she hit that buzzer. It was not certain in the slightest, but she walked away into the next round.
Absolutely so. Good performance from Emma Hunt. She moves forward, and there's a lot of people who have been looking at her to be potentially the favourite here for this competition. So, I mean, in a very short space of time, Emma Hunt has really improved things.
She really has, and she's doing so much for the sport of speed climbing too. She's a really great advocate. I saw her signing lots of autographs and being really friendly with so many of the crowd here. It's really wonderful to see.
Exactly. Well, Patricia Hujiak comes on from the right, and then she is versus Desek Madre, who, as we said, it's different personalities as well. Desek calm, and Patricia, as we can see, hyping herself up.
Yeah, very different approaches. Fascinating to watch. I love looking at the speed climbers' faces as they are clipped in, what they're doing, whether they are composed or looking around. Are they chalking their shoes? We've actually seen quite a lot of the athletes do that tonight, but the approach is fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. So here we go again, and Desek approaches the wall slightly faster. Patricia now enters the arena, and we wait once more for those buzzers. So both athletes off clean, and it's absolutely neck and neck, but now Desek coming back at her, but a slight moment at the top. Patricia's gonna lose this one. Desek takes victory. And once again, head in her hands for a moment, and then she pulls herself back in. It's super calm.
She looks down, she's nodding. I wonder if she's looking for a coach potentially, kind of getting that nod of approval.
Yeah, very, very close runs. Patricia, yeah, she was emotional early on, and it's the kind of athlete she is. She leaves nothing behind. It's all very visual for her. You can see exactly what she's feeling. But now, again, we see that moment of sportsmanship. Let's watch it again. Patricia was ahead at the beginning.
Yeah, for a very brief moment there, but Desek just seeming on another level tonight.
Yeah, she is. She's also one of the potentials to take this victory now. And she's moving closer and closer to that final. Remember, the second these athletes hit that final, they have an Olympic place. And I reckon that's going to be a spectacular race because the pressure kind of is alleviated a little, apart from the World Championship.
But the pressure that's put on the race just before that's when things get serious.
Yeah, it does. Actually just gave me sweaty fingers when you said that.
We're not
it's a good point.
away.
No, we're not. Okay, Alexandra Kaluchka is on the left, Rajia Salsabilia on the right from Indonesia. This is going to be a close race. Do not look away if you're watching at home.
I think we might need to bring a chalk bag in for you.
I mean, it's something. I cannot help but get sucked into this thing, honestly. It really grips me. So take your marks is called.
Ready?
Buzzers go, and both ahead. They're both equal at the moment. Rajia, oh, I can't call this. Alexandra looks like she's got it. Rajia slips. Alexandra, a big moment for her. That was a close fight. She had to fight that one.
Both athletes seeming to give their absolute all. Rajia head in hand. You can see how disappointed she is. You can see it on her face. Oh, it's hard to watch. It's so exciting and so impressive, but also to see the disappointment. And they have to lower down the entire crowd watching them as they go through that, as they process what just happened. We say it's brutal, but it really, really is.
It absolutely is. Well, what races we've had so far. And good to see no full starts as well. So everyone racing to their full potential on the wall. We hate to see a full. I hate to see a full start. When that beep, beep, beep goes, I just sort of have that sinking feeling in my stomach.
And when they do start, you can see how quick they were off the mark. There's a little number that pops up above their name. Really useful to kind of have a look at that. It's interesting facts if you have a little look at that. We don't get time to talk about it because it all happens so quickly. But yeah, that number will pop up before their speed time does.
Very good. So keep an eye out for that.
You know what I'm like. I'm a bit geeky with numbers, and I've been training speed before, and I know how important that number is, how important it is to be quick off the mark.
Have you touched the speed wall since the Olympics went away?
I haven't, and I do wonder if I could still run a decent time because it feels so ingrained within me. Yeah, we should race sometime.
Shauna, you would absolutely destroy. I think I'm round about 17 seconds, so you'd murder me. Yeah, I think it was Will Bosey taught me how to speed climb a little
17 is
bit.
pretty good, though.
I felt terrible, and I had no idea. I got lost on the route.
As far as I'm aware, I am still the current women's British record holder. So come on, English women.
That's a heck of a claim.
Take it off me.
Yeah,
Take it off me.
I like
You
that.
can
I
have
didn't
it.
know that, Shauna. That's awesome.
Can I just point out that in our next races that we will see for the women, yes, we've got men to come right now, will we see our Olympians?
Yeah, potentially so, because we're going to know who's in the final.
So, no, after that race, the ones that are in the final, so the next races for the women are the Olympic tickets.
Oh, gosh, that's a really good point. I hadn't really sort of thought that through in my head. You're right, yeah.
Sorry, back focus on the men right now.
I can't focus after
sorry.
that. All right, Eric Neuer on the left versus Rishat Kabulin on the right. This is, yeah, again, I'm going to stop thinking who's the favourite on paper. Who cares? Eric Neuer, the big man. He had a bit of a surprise against Leonardo earlier on. Rishat, I mean, he's got almost a 5-second there.
But no one could call this.
No, we can't. I mean, we just don't know. So here we go. Hold your breath at home. It's going to be over in a couple of seconds.
Ready?
Okay, they're away clean, and Rishat pulling ahead at the moment. Eric trying to come back at him. It's going to be Rishat. Eric slips. Rishat takes victory with a 5.2, close to his PB. And Eric Neuer, we say goodbye to him.
We do, and again, another unfortunate slip. It does feel like that pressure's building. Disappointment on his face there as he lowers down.
Yeah, he knows he's got other opportunities coming up, and he'll go away and train.
It almost looked like he was saying that. On to the next one as he rolled his hand around.
Yeah, we'll forget and move on. Yeah, Eric has a fascinating story about life in Spain. I won't get into now, but he's just a man with a lot of depth to his personality. He's an interesting guy. So, yeah, looking forward to having him back. But Rishat, look at this power. He's got a style that's a bit different from the other men.
He does. You see his body hardly moves. He's so parallel to the wall. His arms and his legs moving so insanely quickly, but his body still almost the entire way up.
Yeah, very good point. All right, two Chinese teammates against each other now. Ling
That's
Zhang.
got to be hard.
I think so.
Knocking your teammate out of the race.
Yeah, you know everything about them, don't you? I mean, to me, I would not want to face my teammate.
I would not either. It must be a difficult position, unless they don't like each other and they're rivals and they absolutely love being in this moment. You know, we don't know.
Are you stoking a little bit of rivalry here, Shauna? I like this.
Everyone wants a rivalry story.
Stirring the pot for
I
Shauna
have no
Coxey.
idea. I expect they don't want to race against each other, but they are in this moment and probably, I imagine, trained against each other, done this race before. Do they know who normally wins? Does it even matter right now? No.
All right, let's see this. So here we go. The buzzers go. And Ling Zhang is ahead at the moment, but only just. He has a slip. Jinbao pulls back. Jinbao Long comes back from behind.
Wow, in a fast time. We're seeing that time dropping now as it gets more and more serious. The athletes giving their absolute all.
What a moment. Well, the teammates face off and one will walk away. And yeah, I can imagine the team meal the next night or breakfast the next morning. But of course, these I am overhyping. These athletes are professionals. They'll race each other. It's all okay. But a close race there. And watch it again. It was the slip on the left that paid for him, and then Jinbao coming back. Watching again. Where his feet are landing. Almost a slip at the top from him, though, smearing on the wall. That Chinese top, of course.
And a huge smile on his face.
Well, look, another two teammates here. Ramad Adi Moliono versus Kamal Katabin. Both more than capable of winning and have won in the past. Quite a lot of tape going on the right. Belay clipped on. I always find it strange that the belays clip the belay on. I know it's part of the rules, but it's quite a strange moment and they walk away. Look at those PBs. Not quite sure that's... yeah, there is. So absolutely neck and neck on the PBs.
Ready?
So Maliona on the left is starting to pull it back in the middle. Look how fast Carmel is though towards the top. What a race, a 4.979. We go under 5 seconds. That's incredible. And hang on, is that a world record? I think it... No, not quite, but so close. I had a moment where I saw a W and I just panicked there, Shauna. I did panic.
I do think that's the fastest time we've seen yet in this competition. It wasn't quite a personal best for him. He's matched his personal best, I think, with it because he does have a 4.97. But what a close race! And also, he was slightly slower off the mark, ever so slightly. But wow, that was exciting stuff.
That was. So let's see that again. Leone takes that victory. And under 5 seconds, I wasn't expecting that.
And he almost looked behind his teammate there, but in that last little moment, way faster, reaching up to the buzzer, it looked like they were head to head, and you could not call who was going to hit that buzzer. I didn't know which side was going to turn green, and I was almost surprised, actually.
I was too. It happens sometimes, doesn't it? You sort of, in your eyes, sometimes play tricks on you occasionally. But yeah, impossible to call that one. I can't believe we saw a sub-5. After all the complaints I heard about the wall being slippy, and then, what do I know?
And we thought the left lane was a slippy lane.
Okay, last men's race. Pengwu on the left, Matteo Zaloni on the right. Matteo with one last out breath, looking down at the audience.
Ready?
Both off clean, Matteo ahead at this point, but it's absolutely neck and neck. Matteo now pulling ahead. Matteo takes it, and that is huge for him.
Wow, and a PB for him. And the time that he needed it. Again, a close race. Matteo looked like he pulled that back. He kind of seemed behind, and it looked like he wasn't going to be able to overtake, and then all of a sudden, his buzzer went green.
Well, we've seen him coming for a while. He hasn't quite got there, and maybe he's peaked at the right moment. So there he was a little ahead, made the jump, stopped the clock near at the 5-second mark, and immediately that celebration comes in.
Yeah, that wasn't a scream, was it? That was a roar. Like, you could tell just how much that meant to him, and he was pumped up and ready to hit that buzzer.
Well, we do get a little moment to breathe here because the athletes will be reintroduced, I think, before we have this. And as you said, this is a massive race coming up because this is where we decide our Olympic ticket.
It is. So Matteo putting in a PB there. Wow, his previous PB was a 5.14, so that was a big chunk off his PB. I say a big chunk. It's all relative, of course. We're talking about speed climbing. But yeah, it suddenly got incredibly serious now.
It has, hasn't it? So if we weren't nervous before, we are definitely nervous now. We're about to find out our first Olympians. Okay, well, first of all, this is the men's comp. We'll flip over to the women's for that, and I'll have a little break here while we breathe. And that air, that dust in the background, allowing those wonderful shots.
I can't imagine how these athletes must be feeling. I have been in this position, have qualified for the Olympics, but not like this, not when it is purely speed climbing, not when everything counts on this next race. I wish we could see into the isolation to see what they're doing, how they're preparing. Are they absorbed into their own world? Are they trying to psych each other out? We've seen athletes do a little scream before they pull on the wall. We've seen athletes go through very different setups. Maybe it's just their thing. Maybe they are trying to distract the other climbers. Who knows? But things just definitely got a lot more full on in this arena here, and the crowd know what this means. I think it is building. The atmosphere has gone to a whole new level.
We shared a look there when the DJ dropped that tune, or whatever it was, that atmosphere music, because that was massive. So those, out of them, we are going to see some Olympians. Crazy to think. And watch Alexandra Miroslav here. She kind of hates this side of things. She'll want to get off stage as quickly as possible and get on with things. Emma Hunt, meanwhile, is loving life. She's got
headphones in.
Yeah, headphones in. So, Shauna, how long did it take it to sink in when you knew you won that ticket? What were the emotions you went through?
I was in disbelief for, I think, a couple of months, in all honesty, let alone a couple of hours. I had another round to climb, so I stayed focused. And then after the finals of the combined, as it was back then in 2019, I was honestly exhausted. It was so intense. The pressure that is put on and the intensity of the whole event kind of just starts to melt away once it's happened, and it feels so surreal. It's a word I use again and again and again, but you know, some of the athletes out here are going to get their Olympic ticket tonight. The focus should be on them right now as they all stand there, watching how they are also different, like you pointed out with Alexandra and Emma, and then also the guys as well. Some of them looking happy, some of them looking kind of fierce. It just must be so intense. Everything matters on that next race. For us doing the combined, it was so different. We had 3 opportunities to keep bettering our score to get that ticket. We knew what we needed to do, finishing on lead, which felt very different. But I'm lost for words at how wild this all is.
Yeah, it's a big moment. Matteo Zaloni as well was also loving life there. I think he can quite believe where he is. I mean, this is the thing with speed. You just never know. And in a blink, you know, one of them is going to walk away with this. All right, Rishat Kaboulian versus who? Oh my goodness, I've lost my own page. Jimbao Long, and then Ramiad Moliono versus Matteo Zaloni. That is our men's next round. So whoever wins this will progress into the final, and they've got a ticket. And for the women, Alexandra Miroslav versus Emma Hunt. And then Desek Madre versus Alexander Kaluchka. One of those will make it through too. Well, look, all the talking, I mean, we can forget about that now because it comes down to the next couple of minutes out there on the speed wall. And all week, I mean, I feel like, Shauna, we've been talking about Olympic tickets for a while. I don't ever want to say the words again, but this is it. So we can continue talking about it for a couple of more minutes because At the end of this competition, we will find out for sure. And of course, let's not forget a world champion as well.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about that, and we need to remember, you know, the winners of this race are then going to go on to compete for that gold medal. I almost wonder if they'll want to, you know, if their emotions will just be entirely absorbed, or they're being absorbed by their emotions, or they will be staying focused. I expect they'll stay focused. These are professional athletes, so they know what they're doing, but it's going to feel good for two of those athletes, or two men, two women, and it's going to feel heartbreaking for 4 athletes out there tonight.
Absolutely. We're watching a replay of the closest race of the night. Came close to a world record as well. For a moment, I did think it had been beaten. Even though we've got it written on masses of pieces of paper, I just sort of had a moment where I thought it had gone. Under 5 seconds, 4.97 is about as close as you could get to that world record.
So close on a slippery wall. That just is so insanely impressive.
So here we go. The crowd is on their feet, gathered down at the bottom. There's the athletes and coaches, and I can't imagine what the coaches are feeling in that front holding area. The audience has been pouring in. It's stacked to the rafters. And they're keeping us waiting here, aren't they?
They are letting the atmosphere build. I expect the coaches are feeling very sick right now. I am starting to feel a little bit queasy. There's so much on the line. Speed climbing is going to be such a spectacle at the Games. We know it is. We know how much the crowd loves it. And this crowd right here get to witness it with their own eyes.
Yeah, it's true. They're seeing history pretty much. The first speed-only competition. This is the time for these athletes to shine.
It really is.
And here we go. Well, we can see them in the background. Emma Hunt, you can just see her in the shadows there on the right, versus Alex Miroslav, though. What a race that is. And it's going to be tight for Emma here against the current world record holder. And look at Alexandra just striding across the stage. She's not going to be stopped. She's not going to be slowed down.
She's fierce, she's focused, she is here to do one job.
And look at those Olympic rings on her arm already. Of course, she qualified. And she wants another one. Okay, here we go. One of these women will make it through to the final. Let's concentrate on that for the time being. Emma Hunt on the right, Alexandra Miroslav on the left. 6.25 versus 6.68 PBs. Here we go.
Ready?
No false starts, thank goodness. Emma Hunt is ahead. Alexandra Miroslav slips. Emma Hunt needs to keep it together, and she will be in the Olympics. She does slip, but she's just walked away with it. Emma Hunt with the victory.
Nobody would have called that. Alexandra in tears. She is devastated. Emma in tears too, but tears of happiness. Wow, that was not something anybody could have expected. Emma Hunt is going to the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. She's going to become an Olympian.
That is crazy. And heart out to Alexandra Miroslav. Look, she's been perfect throughout the season, throughout the years.
Throughout her career.
I mean, she just never makes a mistake. And let's see this mistake. Oh, it was down low and she was gone.
It looked like her right foot seemed to slip a little bit, which meant her left hand didn't hit the hold correctly, and it just fired off. She wasn't even able to keep climbing to try and pull it back. She unfortunately gave that one away, and Emma Hunt, she was there to take it.
Oh, after all of that, well, fair play to Emma Hunt. But yeah, Alexandra, look, as she slipped, she knew a big scream, head in her hands. That is what pressure can do. And Emma Hunt with the victory. She will be an Olympian, and she gets to fight for a World Championship gold as well.
Yes, she does. Let's not forget that she's on the podium of the World Championships. And Alexandra's still yet to do another run for that bronze medal. Can she take it? Can she keep it together? It's not over yet.
It's absolutely not. And we have another race. So, once again, Desek Madre is there on the left, Alexander Kaluchka on the right. Team Poland will want one of their athletes through here for sure. And the athletes will take their time. So Kaluchka's sister cleans her shoes, making sure everything's ready. Look at that, focused in her zone.
And look at their PBs, so very close. This race is going to be very full on.
This is massive again. I'm not sure my heart can handle this, but here we go. Once more, both women turn to face the wall. One of these will be an Olympian.
Ready?
Clean from both of them. Alexandra ahead at the moment, but don't count out Desek Madre. She can come back. Alexandra might do this. Alexandra slipped. Desek takes it at the top. I said don't count her out, and there we go.
I'm just gonna breathe. I think that was a PB for her. What a time to do it. She's going to Paris 2024. She's gonna become an Olympian. They lower down to the ground, still not giving anything away. She is still focused. Actually, I think there was a slight smile there. I think we maybe saw that.
There was a little glint in her eye. I mean, how could you not? You've just got an Olympic ticket. And for the first time, that shell is cracked just a tiny bit. Oh, well, let's watch a replay of this then, because it was back and forth.
My cheeks are starting to hurt. I'm smiling so much.
So that was a slip from Alexandra on the right. And again at the top. That's the top one is what did it. And it's a no-go, and Des actually is the comeback queen. We've seen her do it so many times. You can't count her out.
You said halfway through that run, do not count her out. She was behind, but she just kept going. She was consistent, unfaltered, and she hit that buzzer, turning the light green and earning her Olympic ticket.
Shauna, this is the best speed finals I've ever watched. I'm seriously not just saying that. This is ridiculous out there. Something about this evening is magic. So there's confirmation. Emma Hunt versus Desek Madre in the final for that World Championship place. Alexandra Miroslav versus Alexandra Kaluchka in the small finals for the bronze medal. And that's going to be the worst race. Bronze or nothing and no Olympic ticket.
A hard race, and I can't imagine how Alexandra must be feeling. She was the favourite coming in.
Okay, well, we'll put the women's behind us for a second, refocus on the men, because once again, one of these are going to get this Olympic ticket. Either Rishat Kabulin or Jimbao Long, Ramat Maliono or Matteo Zaloni will have a ticket by the end of the next couple of minutes. Dust and chalk still blowing in the atmosphere there. It's like stars.
It is. It's a very atmospheric shot, kind of capturing how it feels in the arena right now. You said it earlier, you said it's magic. It is magic in here.
So we are seconds away now. The athletes will be gathering behind that curtain. In fact, I think I can just see them in the light. And the shafts of light cutting across the darkness, lighting up the audience. Here we go. Rishat Kabulin walks in. He goes to the left. Jimbao Long on the right. Rishat adjusts, and the athletes will adjust. You can move that pad around, can't you, to position it correctly?
Yeah, you need to. You need to get it in the right spot for you.
All right, so here we go. Belays do their job, clip the athletes in. They chalk up, get ready. Just take a huge breath before this race, because this is another big moment. 5.05 versus 5.05 PBs.
Wow.
Here we go. Olympic tickets on the line.
Ready?
It's clean from post. Jimbao Long is ahead at the moment. Can Matteo Zaloni do anything about that at the top? No, he can't. Jimbao Long with a clean race.
And a PB.
And a PB.
An Olympic ticket, a PB. He's in the final of the World Championships. That guy's having a great night.
He really is. There might be a couple of glasses of champagne drunk after this one, but for Matteo Zaloni as well, he has to reset his entire season. His whole focus changes once more as he looks towards the Continentals. Look at that man's face. I think he's also let some cracks appear. Watch this race towards the top. Oh, sorry, Rishat. I said Zaloni, didn't I? I'm so sorry. I meant Rishat. Apologies. I'm getting too excited for myself there. So awesome from Rishat.
Rishat with that really fascinating style, his body not moving, but all eyes on the right lane as that light turns green, as that PB hits. I don't even know what he's celebrating there. Is he celebrating the Olympics, the finals, the PB? Who knows? Maybe all of it, probably all of it, just as he should be.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry for that mistake. I just spoke too quickly. I got ahead of myself there. Okay, so the next race is Matteo Zaloni versus Ramat Malyono. Another big one. Let's see what happens. Matteo chalks up, blows in his hands, looks up at the top. Ramat Malyono takes a huge breath as well, but his eyes are closed. And here we go. 5.02 for Matteo. Ramat, of course, 4.97 at PB earlier.
Ready?
No full starts. Matteo ahead at the midway point, but Ramat's coming up and he slips. Matteo takes it and he moves forward that Olympic ticket, and another surprise.
Another big surprise. He looked as surprised as anybody else. Head in his hands. He's just taken a moment to absorb what that means. Disappointment on the other side, and it just shows how raw and how real tonight is. It is all on the line. Wow.
Wow, indeed. I mean, look, Matteo Zaloni has been coming. He did so well in the Italian Nationals earlier on this year. We knew he was there like a ticking time bomb, but he's got that ticket. Let's see the race. He was ahead, powering upwards. That was the slip, but by then I think he'd actually lost the race.
And we've seen a lot of big slips and mistakes from Team Indonesia. It's been really interesting to watch. I hope they're able to recover for the next qualification event.
Exactly. I mean, there's been a lot of pressure on those guys. Our final race before the finals as we reset to go again. Right, so this is the confirmation, Sean, and look at that. Those final places going through, and huge surprises throughout, especially in that women's side of the competition.
Yeah, in both sides it feels, but like you said, especially in the women's side, the world record holder to lose like that, Alexandra, she doesn't make mistakes. We don't see it. It doesn't happen, but it just proves she really is human. Again, there are more opportunities to come, but that is going to shift things for her drastically. I expect she was hoping and probably expecting to walk away with an Olympic ticket, so everything now has to shift. Her focus, I assume, will be on continentals as opposed to the Olympic qualifier series next year. But there are more opportunities, but that pressure, again, just building and building and building as the time goes on, as it gets closer and closer to the Olympic Games next summer.
Exactly. Paris will host us. We will go there soon. I can't wait to see that. And of course, we're giving Olympic tickets away in lead and boulder tomorrow. But this was the women's side we're talking about. Emma Hunt, Desek Madre, they move forward. Alexander Miroslav, Alexander Kaluchka will fight it out for the bronze. But that has got to be a hard race to suck it up and go again on there.
It really must be, but also the final, you know, it's good. I think that's going to be quite a hard race too, to bring that focus back in. I wondered if we'd see athletes remain focused all the way to the end. We didn't. We saw the emotion. We wanted to see it. Come on. We know how much that means. We saw tears on the way down, both happy and sad. And yeah, they're going to have to rein it back in because we've still got some runs to go yet.
Yeah, we have. We've got 4 late races left this evening before we say goodbye. Coming up to 9:15 here. And tomorrow we will have the boulder and lead, the first of the boulder and lead finals. So set your alarms for that. But right now, here we go. It's small finals first of all. So our bronze medal position decided as our... I'm not sure where that camera is, actually. I'm just trying to find it. It looks like a drone up there in the sky somewhere, but it's not. It's panning across the ceiling somehow.
Great look at our stadium as well. It's been such an amazing event. The organisers have done so well, and we've talked about it before, but the city of Bern has welcomed the Climbing World Championships with open arms.
The city of Bern is beautiful. I've never actually been in here. I've driven around it many a time, but gorgeous little streets, an old town, a river running through it. It's a lovely place to hold a World Championships.
It really is, although we have seen mostly the inside of arena, and I am not complaining because it's been incredible.
It has. Okay, here we go. Final couple of races.
And the vibe has changed. It is party vibes out there right now. Wow, it's shifted. The DJ doing a great job of reading the room.
That's very true. He's kicked things up a notch, hasn't he, out there? Well done, Mr. DJ. And we're just being told we're about 15 seconds away for our first race here. So, finals time. And we start with the small finals. And that beat Shauna was talking about thumping along in the background. And if you are just joining us, you've missed all of the action. But don't worry, you're going to catch the last few races. That is Matt Grooman, joined by Shauna Coxey in the commentary box. And Alexandra Miroslav walks out onto the stage. She has a point to prove here a little.
And ever the professional, looking serious, looking composed. There is still a World Championships medal on the line here. This race matters if you want to stand on the podium. So a really important race between two members of Team Poland.
There we go, teammates against each other. And we prepare ourselves here for another race.
Ready?
Laser-focused eyes there. Alexandra Kaluchka slips. Alexandra Miroslav will walk away with it unless something happens, but it doesn't. She is our bronze medalist here this evening, and as you said, consummate professional, but you can see that disappointment in her face.
Yeah, great to see her wave to the crowd, but she's giving it all away. You know, you can tell she's unhappy. You can tell she's disappointed, and understandably so. We've said it so many times, but she doesn't make mistakes. It is fascinating to see what she's just been through. You can only imagine how much pressure and how intense that must have been, and it was just too much.
It was on the night. And anyone watching this still has any doubt that speed climbing is an incredible part of our sport, well, I mean, this should prove you wrong, because it's just so athletic, so exciting, and so easy just to come in, see what's going on, and understand it immediately.
It is, and it was actually my favourite part about training for the Tokyo Games, which surprises most people as a bouldering specialist, having won medals in bouldering. I love lead too. It's my background as a youth athlete, but coming into speed, doing something so different, and something where you see the time tick down and you get PBs, it's really refreshing. Yeah, I love training speed. However, I've not been back on since the Olympic Games. It is far away from the speed route for me. I think if there was one locally, maybe I'd be more interested.
Yeah, that is fair enough, I think. All right, well, Emma Hunt versus Desek Madre, both with their eyes shut. This is for a gold medal at the World Champs. This is to be the world champion. Just saying that gives me a bit of a shiver. So here we go.
Ready?
Both women away clean. Desek Madre ahead. Emma Hunt perhaps coming back. Desek slips a little bit, but she's keeping it together. Maybe Emma in the air, but no. Desek Madre is your world champion here this evening. And then still no smile from her. This is what she does. She just takes a moment. Emma Hunt, I'm not sure how much she cares about that one, because she's got a silver medal and an Olympic ticket.
Yeah, and it was close there for a moment. It almost looked like it could have been Emma, but Desek taking it. That was a really fast race, considering everything that these two women have just been through. Hats off to them for keeping it together and putting on a show for the audience, and our gold and silver medalists.
There they are. Well, the women's race done, and both women hug in there on stage. And Alexandra Miroslav, that's good to see. She's, you know, of all the mind games we talk about, the rivalries we say, at the end of the day, it's still climbing. They're still amazing people.
It is, and a huge smile from Desek there. It was really wonderful to see, letting her guard down as Alexandra's arms wrapped around her. What a beautiful moment. I hope someone got a picture.
I think they might have. There's a few lenses pointed at that stage here. And that's the race. 6.492 wins it. Not much the clock really matters. You have to beat your opponent. And you can see our camera shaking as the women speed upwards.
And if I'm not mistaken, that could be Desek's first gold medal. I can't see a gold medal in a World Cup previously. So, wow, what a moment for her.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, men's race time. Rishat Kabulin on the left. Smith. This is Ramat Maliono. And here we go as the men wait in the arch to come on. Camera rotates to give a little hint at that backstage area. There are our athletes, rather dramatically framed with the shadows. Rishat doing that thing. He just seems to run on ahead of his opponent to get to the lane first of all. Maliona on the right adjusts the speed pad.
Laser focus from both of the athletes here.
You can feel the intensity, can't you? Actually feels a bit different from the women's side of things. Both of these athletes seem to have something to prove right now. Let's see what they can do.
Ready?
So off clean, Maliona ahead, but now Rishat slips though. As I said, he was coming back. Maliona's going to take that third place and Rishat with the fourth.
Rishat quite slow off the mark there. Slow, again, relative terms, but a lot slower than his opponent. So I wonder if maybe he didn't feel perfect as that buzzer went, if there was a little hesitation, very, very minute. But of course, anything that goes on in their brains at that point or doesn't feel right in their body can cause slips, as we've seen. So an unfortunate slip for him, but still fourth position, and our bronze medalist as well walks away with that medal. But so insanely close to that Olympic ticket. It's kind of bittersweet, you know. You get a medal, but you don't get the ticket.
Yeah, it's true. Something around your neck, but nothing in your hand. Well, let's see that race. Yeah, that was the slip. Maliona just running away with it at the top, making the lights turn green. The auto belay you can see at the top of the wall. That keeps the athletes safe. They used to use an old rope system and literally have people running backwards, but then the athletes got a bit too fast for the old-fashioned ways, and we had to go modern on the auto belay.
And they are special auto belays for speed. I've tried climbing the speed route with a normal auto belay. It does not work. It's terrifying, and nobody should do that.
Can it not keep up with you
No,
as
it
you
can't
go?
keep up with even me, so let alone these athletes. There was a huge leap of slack that was touching the ground nearly.
Terrifying. Absolutely
Yes.
terrifying.
Just in case anyone was wondering.
That's a good story. I like that. Nearly lost Shauna Coxey on a speed wall.
Very close PBs here.
Very close. Matteo on the right, Jinbao Long on the left. China versus Italy.
Ready?
Oh, it's our first full start of the evening and it's in the men's final. So, yeah, the only one to go. And yeah, it's not how we want things to end, as you can see from both athletes. But we have a winner crowned.
We do, and we have a silver medalist, and we have Olympians. Look what it means to them. Matteo, if I'm not mistaken, that is his first gold medal at a World Cup or World Championships. What a moment to do it. That guy is going home happy.
He is indeed. Well, that's it for our finalists. And look, they celebrate together. They will be buying plane tickets or train tickets to the Olympics at some point. And lots of emotions, but lots of camaraderie out there on the stage. They're all in it together, and really the physical margin between them is so small. It's just what happens on the night.
It's what happens on the wall in that run, you know? Every single run is different, and just like you say, every night is different. It's so specific to that one race. It doesn't matter what your PB is, how fast you are off the mark. All that matters is which buzzer turns green.
Look at Matteo's face there. I think he's enjoying that moment.
Enjoying the moment, but also I imagine wanting to put a good run in. You know, he's had a great night. He was ready for that race, but unfortunately not to be tonight.
Exactly. Let's see it again. So watch the buzzers go. Yeah, that red light going on the left. Team China say no. Matteo takes the victory. Well, that's it for this evening. Well, not it for this evening, that's it for the races.
And a strange ending.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. I mean, look, we wouldn't want it to finish because he will run again.
So he can choose whether he wanted to run again or not. He is going to. I love that. You know, the crowd want to see this happen. May as well go and look for a PB. Why not?
Might as well have a victory lap, eh? Well, he's got a big smile on his face.
A huge smile and the crowd going wild.
Why not run again? You saw Jinbao just hang out there with his arms above his head. He's going to sit back and enjoy it as well. So I tell you what, we'll just sit back and enjoy this moment, shall we, while he goes again, breathing out.
He's already had one PB tonight, so he should be going for another one, and why not?
I think it's actually pretty cool. It's a heck of a victory lap. He's getting cheered upwards. It's going to be hesitant. There's going to be mistakes. Who cares? Tops out at 5.56, which is not bad considering a slip down low.
Not bad in the slightest. Huge smile. He gets the lap that he wanted. He is the world champion. What a night. He's got a PB. He's got an Olympic ticket. He's going to walk away with that gold medal hanging around his neck. I love that he got back on. The crowd loved it. That was the ending we wanted. Thank you, Matteo.
Exactly. It could have ended things on a better note, didn't it? So, why not? He finishes things off, and we will have the podiums, of course, and Shauna's interviews in a couple of minutes. But let's just enjoy this last run as he storms up the wall by himself. All right, Shauna, I think we might have to say goodbye to you to go and interview them. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. That was very, very exciting. I can't believe we've still got more climbing to come in this event. So many surprises, and yeah, I can't wait to speak to our winners.
Okay, you enjoy that, and I'll see you in a bit. So we look once more at those scores, confirmation of the results. What a final that was. I just had a little chat with Shauna. We were just saying how much we did enjoy that last moment there. And in fact, the entire competition, something about those Olympic tickets, of course, just changes things. But wow, what an end to that comp. Those are our winners, those are our losers, but at the end of the day, sport generally just wins on that one. And tomorrow, of course, we come back for the Boulder and Lead finals. For the women, we'll give away more tickets. And the small final and big final results concerned, a full start, not the way we would have wanted to finish, but Matteo gets to run again, and that was cool to see as he was alone up there on the speed wall. Let's have a look at the women's final replay, shall we? While we wait for our interviews. Explosive off the start. Emma Hunt, though, behind. Desak powering through as she went upwards. Good performance once more from her. That skip and a jump at the top, hit the final buzzer. Head in hands as she realizes that she has walked away with that gold medal. What a race that was. Isaac Madre has been coming for a while. She's appeared on our radars, and we've been enjoying watching her progression in the sport. Emma Hunt, I mean, he got the feeling that for her, that comp had kind of finished when she got that ticket. Of course, she tried so hard. It was a close race. There was a smile on her face when she came down, regardless of the result. A little slap with the hands, but then, you know what? Hey, you go into the Olympics. Let's watch again, just the right lane, lane B. Pretty crazy, actually. We only had one full start. Usually we see a few more than that, but just one right at the very end. It just saved itself for us. Unfortunate way to finish, but actually really cool to see that last alone run on the wall. Well, the podiums are to come, and if you missed it earlier on, the para-finals took place during the day, and it was a long para-finals, but brilliant from the athletes. Lots of categories coming through, and you can go back and watch that on the IFSC YouTube channel. It's free to watch. And we had many athletes coming through the commentary box, including Shauna Coxey, as you heard from her earlier. She was calling some of the action as well. And some of the para climbers were being brought in, which was great to spend time with them, find out what's going through their heads. That's available to watch. And the World Climbing Club, our daily show from the World Champs, that's up as well. And let's watch one of the closest races of the evening, which is a race between the two Indonesian teammates. And keep an eye on the lane on the left, going sub-5 in a World Champs. Not something I expected to see. And there is that clock, 4.97. Yeah, powering upwards, stopping the clock, 4.979 versus a 5.058, about as close as you can come. Awesome times. Well, the podiums, as you can see, are being prepared. And then down on the left, you can see a light shining up on the another board, and that's where Shauna will be doing the interviews. I'm sure she'll be congratulating the athletes and having that really special moment with them. One of the first to say congratulations to them. It's a pretty unique, and we can see her there, and we can see the team members. A big hug going on in the lights. Shauna waits. Pretty massive interview, this one. Yeah, so tomorrow we have the women's boulder and lead final, and then on Saturday the men's boulder and lead final. Let's go down to Shauna, who's found our men's winner.
Matteo, can you tell me how you're feeling right now?
I don't really know how to explain it. This is my first World Cup year, so I'm really happy that I managed to do these times in this comp and to qualify for the Olympics.
It's your first gold medal, if I'm right, at World Championships. It was a PB run.
Yeah, it was a PB run.
And an Olympic ticket.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which one of those means the most to you right now?
For sure, the Olympic ticket. I still don't have realized it, so it will take long, but also I'm happy with the time because I never did it in a comp 5-0, so really happy.
A huge congratulations. I won't keep you. I know you're a man in demand right now. Everyone wants to speak to you. You are the world champion. You are going to the Olympics. Congratulations. Have a great time tonight celebrating.
Really thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Shauna. Thank you to Matteo. What a race that was indeed. Incredible scenes. And he will now return to the backstage area. And we will get our next athlete ready for their winner's interview. In fact, they're ready already, so let's go down to them at the front.
Desak, congratulations. Wow, what a night for you. We've seen how focused you are, but you are smiling now. It must feel good, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is my first gold medal in World Championship, and I'm very happy now because I have a ticket to go to Olympic Paris 2024, and this is because I have a great team, Sport Climbing Indonesia. Thank you so much. Thank you for my coach, my family, my friend, and all people in Indonesia for your support.
And can you tell us, are you focused on Paris? Are you going to have some time to relax, or is it all eyes on Paris now? Will you take a rest after this?
Yeah, maybe I'm training hard.
You're training hard?
After this.
It's great to hear. We know you're a focused athlete. It's lovely to see how happy you are. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you to Shauna. Thank you to Desak. As Shauna said, just brilliant to see, and just wow. There's certain, and in fact, we have actually another interview with Emma Hunt. Let's find out more from Emma.
Emma, I'm going to say it. You look surprised up there.
Are you surprised?
I'm very surprised, yeah.
You've got an Olympic ticket. You're going to Paris 2024. Can you sum up just how that feels for you right now in this moment?
It feels like I can take a breath, like so much pressure and just can finally breathe.
You looked so smooth, so composed. You kept it together when it counted. You've clearly done so much training coming into this event. Did you expect to be in that final? Did you expect to be walking away with everything that you have tonight, that ticket? You knew it was possible. I'm sure you did. Can you tell us about it?
Trying not to expect it, just trying to, if it happens, stay in the present moment and just go with it.
You really did stay in the present moment. You put the runs down when it counted. Enjoy that success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more interview for you. We're not sure with language with this one, but let's go down to the front once more.
You are going to the Olympic Games. Can you tell us how that feels? You have the ticket in your hand.
你现在已经确定可以参加巴黎奥运会了。现在手握这张入场券，你有什么感受可以跟大家分享一下吗？
感觉很开心，也很感谢祖国，从去年疫情这么困难都能给我们出来比赛历练，所以今年能取到这个奥运席位，所以非常感谢祖国，非常感谢团队。
So I was so happy to get the ticket. You know, during the pandemic, so it's really tough for our training. So I was appreciate our great nation to give us a big support, and also thanks to our great team.
You have a great team. Racing against teammates must be hard, but you kept your consistency. A huge congratulations to you. Are you excited for the next competitions?
你说了感谢团队对你的帮助或这样取得这样的成绩，你对下一次的比赛以及后边的这个表现感到很期待吗？
对，很期待，只能在后面自己还需要在国际上面去历练，好去参加奥运会，争取能在奥运会上能取得更好的成绩。
Yes, I am so exciting for this, and I will try my best to the hard training in the following days, and especially maybe got the good result in the Paris Olympic Games.
Thank you so much, and good luck at the Olympics.
谢谢你，然后祝你在奥运会这个一切顺利。
谢谢 ，Thank you，Thank you。
So there we go. Those are our winners. Pretty special, to get those Olympic tickets. I think I've said the word Olympic ticket more times than any other word I've ever said, but it doesn't matter because this is what this competition is all about. Well, our podium is being prepared, so don't go anywhere yet. We will, of course, be coming back tomorrow as well for the women's boulder and lead final, and then Saturday for the men's boulder and lead final, where we will give away more tickets. Said it again. And myself and Shauna will be gradually losing our minds with excitement here in the commentary box. We've got a podium here, first of all, for the speed competition. So thank you for joining us if you're about to leave us. If not, stay around for those podiums. But what a night of entertainment we've just had. That was so exciting, it really was. I've fallen in love with speed over the last couple of years, and I think many people back at home have as well. It's just impossible not to get sucked up into it. And there are the results once more. Women's speed final. Wow. Unreal. And a small final down at the bottom. Our hearts go out to those women. They put on a brave face, finish things off, and of course, a bronze medal was on the line, which does make a big, big difference. Incredible performance from everyone here this evening. And yeah, the speed wall that has been in action quite a lot over the last couple of days was used for the para finals and the speed practice, qualies, and now finals. That sleeps for a while here in our stadium. And the boulder wall will be reset. The lead wall stripped of the para routes and reset with the boulder and lead routes. So setters going to be having a late night, you'd imagine, but some time off during the day. But we will, of course, be bringing you our daily show tomorrow. So go back and have a little catch up if you haven't checked it out. Behind the scenes interviews, all the highlights, lots of action on that show. Free to watch on YouTube, and people working hard behind the scenes. So thank you so much to our camera team and editors and the directors, volunteers, and everyone involved in these competitions. And look at that shot. I do really enjoy that one. It is like stars in the air, or perhaps at the bottom of a deep sea. Have I lost my mind? Possibly. But we're waiting for the award ceremony here. Podiums have been set up, and you can see them lit up there. They'll be gathering the athletes at the back, getting ready to escort them onto the stage so they can get some medals around their neck. Top-down shot from the speed wall down to the ground. Black mats is where the athletes have been sitting on the boulder wall mats. The podium ready. Had a lot of podiums earlier on if you were watching for the para. Can't exactly remember how many categories, there are about 20 I think. So lots of podiums, lots of climbing earlier on. Broadcast about 6 hours I think it was eventually. It was a big one. But a pleasure to watch those para athletes who put so much time and dedication into their training. Well, the MC announces across the stadium, so we are almost ready for our podium. It's a busy time gathering everyone together, making sure the dignitaries are ready, the medals are there. Imagine losing a medal. Oh, here we go. Podium time. And the light show starts. So there are our three women, the two first and second. They've got an Olympic ticket. Alexandra Miroslav will have to reset. She will come back. She is an incredible athlete. And yeah, a breath. Sometimes you have to deal with some adversity, and she's for sure coming back stronger than ever before, but she takes bronze here tonight. Beautiful medals. I got to hold one earlier on. They're really nice. Yeah, and she gets the appreciation that she's deserved there. Emma Hunt. She'll be going to the Olympics. She's got a silver medal. It's not a bad evening's work for her. Smiles all round. Trophy and a toy. And finally, our winner here this evening, the world champion, Desiree Madre, will stand up on the top spot. She, of course, as well, is going to the Olympics. Waves at the crowd. Indonesia with another star. How deep is that squad? And now we wait for the national anthems that will echo through the stadium. Congratulations to all of our women. Incredible performance. She again just closes her eyes a little. She enjoys that moment while the women will stand on the top spot together for that photo opportunity. It will appear all over social medias. Congratulations to all our women standing up and everyone in this speed competition. It's a pretty intense thing to take part of as an athlete. And they do deserve your respect. What athletes they are. Okay. Time for the men to be celebrated. So the men will be out in a couple of moments. The women leave and they can begin the proper job of celebrating. And there is the speed wall that was in action today. So much emotion played out there. Sponsors logos up the middle. Some pretty fast times coming in eventually. We weren't actually expecting it, but turned out to be a speedy evening. Here we go then, men's podium time. Under trois out there on stage. And the men will enter to receive their medals. Lights turn yellow, gold, why not? They come from the far right of the stage, underneath the lead wall, all the way across the boulder wall in the background. As I said, has no holds on it at the moment. That'll be reset probably tonight, tested tomorrow for the women's boulder and lead. A combined event where we will give away the next set of Olympic tickets. And of course, crown a world champion. Actually, no, not world champion, we're talking about, it's an individual event, isn't it? So we're talking to someone there in the crowd. Congratulations once again. Ramad Mulyono takes the bronze medal. Team China, as you heard in the interview, came back during COVID, so much stronger. Jin Bao Long takes silver. Team China, a real force to be reckoned with on the world stage of speed climbing. Looking at which way around to hold it, you've got it right. We're all good. Finally, Matteo Zaloni will stand on the top spot. He's a gold medalist. He will be going to the Olympics. And he enjoys that moment as well, he should. And for the final time, and we've heard a lot of national anthems today, we will listen to one more. And this time, it's Italy that will be celebrated. Gold medal for Matteo Zaloni. Bright future ahead, you feel. What a way to finish things off. Italy singing along with the national anthem there. And the men will, of course, gather at the top. But good team spirit being shown there. And already I had a scroll through Instagram. So many people from Italy kicking off about that victory, that ticket. We haven't finished yet, remember. Tomorrow it's all to play for again. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, myself and Shauna Coxey, to call all of the action from the women's boulder and lead finals. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes. We will see you very soon.